Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Kurious K podcast. My name is Kolapo, and I'm your host. And of course, I miss you guys. It's been a while. We dropped a new episode, but we're just trying to do something differently about the podcast. And right now, we are trying to roll out a Web3 series, themed version of the Curious K podcast. And in this Web3 series, I'll be having conversation with founders, key stakeholders across African continents and beyond to demystify Web3 and the opportunities in the space. So before we go in, I would just like to give a quick background on Web3. And as you know, Web3 has been generating a lot of hype from metaverse to decentralized finance to NFTs and beyond. And basically, Web3 is just trying to imagine an internet built, powered, and owned by its users instead of a few major tech companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple. Web3 is trying to envision where social media users, for example, can monetize their own data. Content creators could receive crypto payments directly every time someone views their latest post. Imagine how powerful that is going to be. And ride sharing platforms could be owned by the drivers, and this is the promise of Web3 to build a decentralized internet upon an open, permissionless blockchain network. All right. And on that basis, we'll be having conversation about what Web3 is, what are some of the opportunities that we can explore in Nigeria, in Africa, and a whole lot of exciting stuff. And this episode features Raphael Edema, who is the CEO at Nightlife Labs, a company with a goal to innovate the future of gaming by building games cutting edge technologies. Raphael, welcome to Kurious K podcast.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and thank you for taking out the time to join us today.
Yeah, I remember the last time we met, I told you I've been waiting to be a part of this podcast. I was just wondering where you're going to call me and say, Raphael, come be on the podcast. So it's nice to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. I'm excited that we're doing this. And I'm really very, very excited about, this great conversation we're going to have about Web3, which I know is a space we're very passionate about.
Yeah. For a while now, it's all I do. It's all I think about. I wake up and what am I going to be doing right now? It's all related to crypto, all related to Web3.
Absolutely. All right, Raphael. So can you tell us about the evolution of the internet, right? The conversation is Web3. All right. So definitely before three, there has to be one and two. All right. So tell us about that flow from the internet from the Web 1 version to where we currently are.
Yeah, I would look at it from the point of view of a gamer. I think from Web 1 was more static. It was basically just information is being given to you. There is no interaction with it. You were just getting the information that was put there by the developers, basically. But now we moved on to Web 3, Web 2, where everybody was a creator, everybody was a content creator. We had social media platforms that came up and give people the opportunity for them to be able to put out their contents out there, and people can be able to consume those contents. It's now more interactive. There's this flow, give and take situation happening with the web 2. And also, if I relate it to gaming, it's there's that interaction between the user and the environment in the games that they play. But now comes a situation where it's way more immersive than what you would be used to. Immersion in the sense that the interaction has gone up a whole other level. It's not more about just um, putting your content out there. Now you own those contents that you put out. You can actually own the content that you put on a platform like Facebook. Right now, you make a post on Facebook, it's not exactly, it's just your post. You posted it, but the post itself is on Facebook, and Facebook can decide to delete that post. They can decide to take it out. But with what is happening with Web3, whatever content you put out there is yours. And also, if I relate it to gaming, for a gamer, I have bought stuff in games before that I play. And when I buy them within that game. And it's on that game, it's on that server, it's owned by the gaming platform that gave me the opportunity to buy it. I don't really own it. I just own it within that game. But with Web3, I own it like literally, I have that value to myself because I can easily be able to transfer it to someone else for some form of compensation. Not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be for money, but it's some form of compensation I can get back for owning that particular thing. And with the current drive towards the interoperability, it will be possible for me to be able to move that asset between other games, and which is what we're really, really working hard to be able to deliver at Nightlife Labs.
All right, Raphael, thank you for talking about that, right? So, I mean, based on the way you were able to break down the evolution of Web3 static, Web2 more interactive, and Web3 is championing ownership. So, right now, everything happening on the internet is still, we're still running on Web2 platform, right? And a lot of skeptics are kind of questioning the future of Web3. That is it truly possible? Because this is still the very early stage of Web3. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, I'm a gamer, yeah, and I belong to a lot of gaming communities. And sometimes, whenever I mention that I build Web3 based video games, I get this funny remarks like, "You guys are doing rubbish," and it's understandable because the kind of games that we are seeing now in Web3 are not the kind of games I would play. A core gamer would not play those games. So there is that nuance where they feel you guys are not doing anything that would make me want to move. They don't see that value just yet, and it's still a lot of money chasing thing for a lot of people. A lot of them just chase the money, chase the money. I've been in situations where I get asked if I'm one of those moon boys kind of games. That's what we are trying to do again, because most of the people that get into the space for the purpose of just making money, not really creating value. And I will speak about these things from a gaming perspective because that's what I have some form of authority on. And I will tell you, in the gaming space, there aren't so many Web3 based games right now that are really good. And that is why the average gamer would not tell you he wants to play a Web3 based game.
Mm.
He will tell you you're not ready yet. So it's those kind of things that will give people the assumption that Web3 is not going to last because of some bad actors. But trust me, it happens. It's one of those things. And I'm very certain that over time, as we keep building, as we keep expanding on the tech, it will become the new normal. And everybody will no longer call it Web3. It will just be web.
Mm.
It will just be the normal.
Cool, cool. Yeah, so tell us about like the current state of Web3 ecosystem in Nigeria. There are quite a number of events, ecosystem meetups around Web3 that is happening here and there, but it's still very early. I think there is a conference happening around blockchain as well. So, what are your thoughts about the current state of like the Web3 ecosystem in Nigeria? And if you can extend it to maybe other part of Africa.
It's huge. I have to confess, Web3 in Nigeria is huge. We have a lot of people that are involved in this space. We have a lot of people that are building in this space. But although with all this hugeness that I keep bringing up, the numbers are not so in the right direction. I will explain what I mean by that. Um, I remember I remember a situation where I don't know if you know of this guy called Paco. Paco travels the world talking about Bitcoin, and he wants people to use Bitcoin to buy stuff. So I thought I had somebody in Abuja here that I could get glasses from using Bitcoin. Only for me to find out it wasn't the person. The person that I thought I was speaking to was in Lagos. So I had this unfortunate incident of begging a woman in the market to accept Bitcoin for the glasses, and they started calling me a scammer, a
Hmm.
thief, because I offered for glasses in Bitcoin. Now, usually with the numbers you see online, you will see that Nigerians are doing a lot of volume in when it comes to crypto transactions. We're doing a lot of volumes. We're doing a lot of events. But the other side is Nigeria is big. Nigeria is a big country with so many people. We have
Hmm.
more than 200 million people. So
That's a
we are a
lot.
lot of people. There is a lot of work. There's a lot of work for us to do for us to really say, oh, we've penetrated, we've gotten through to these people. And I've been to these events. I've been to some events, even though I've only recently just started interacting within the ecosystem in Nigeria. I've been to some events, and it's usually the same people. It's the same guys we meet together, the same ladies. It's not so much different. That's why whenever I see people that are doing stuff where they are trying to get more people to be aware of crypto, I love it. I always champion them. I always talk high about them. What you're doing is hard work. We have the numbers. If you check the data, Nigeria is doing a lot of volume, but those those are just on a segmented level. It's just a few people that are doing these volumes. And another fun fact is a lot of this Web3 blockchain stuff, the most of the people involved are just doing it for trade. They're just buying and they're just selling. They're not really interested in the technology itself. So those of us that are building on it were a bit peculiar, even though you start seeing, oh, he's a blockchain developer, he's a founder in the blockchain space. Trust me, we all almost know each other. We're not so many anymore. We all almost know each other. And but I think it's growing. I'm very hopeful for it to actually transform the way you see the data to actually seeing it happening on ground where people can actually say, oh, okay, this is it. I understand what this means, and I know it's the future because it is the future. It is, and nobody can be able to stop it. I just hope a lot more people get involved at the early stage.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you, Raphael, for sharing that. I think that's really exciting, and the story of trying to buy uh glass in the market with Bitcoin, and I mean, people don't still understand it. It just shows there's a lot of education that has to be done in that space. Imagine we get to a point where you want to take a bus from Lekki to Oshodi and you can pay with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. Honestly, I can't wait.
All right. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the use cases, right? There are some use cases of Web3 that are gaining traction, like
Mm.
DeFi, decentralized finance, NFTs, decentralized gaming. I know your work is more related to the gaming side, so of course I would like you to start from there. In terms of the traction in the space, what I like the opportunity. I know there are some companies or some startups that have raised quite a number of funding even in this space in Nigeria. So if you can just break it down, all right? When people hear about decentralized gaming, what should come to their mind. So maybe we can explore NFTs and DeFi's as well, but we can start with the gaming.
Yeah, okay. So, when you tell me about gaming on the blockchain, the first thing that comes to my mind is interoperability, the ability for me to be able to move my assets from one point to the other
Mm,
within this secure system. And also, another thing that comes to my mind is freedom. I'm not stuck within this platform. I have access to other platform, and I don't have to restart all over again on all these other platforms. There's this connection that happens once, um, even though it's honestly it's not really there yet. We're still building the tech out, but we see it happening within the next couple of years, where all of these promises of web3 gaming or decentralized gaming will come to fruition, but we're still not just about there yet. So when you tell me about web3 gaming, I think about the opportunities that are bound. I can be able to play a game and win something out of that game, like win some form of reward, and that reward can actually be turned into physical asset, and that can only happen. That is being championed by the use of NFTs, non-fungible tokens. And it's really important if you look at Web3 games, all of them integrate NFTs into it because it's NFTs that make it possible. It's
mm,
NFTs that ensure that ownership, that you can say, oh, this user owns this item, this asset, this user owns it. And when it changes, you can easily say, oh, this user has transferred this asset to this other user. So there is that immutable record of all these transactions that are happening. So there won't be unnecessary bugs. There won't be situations where what you have earned will not come to you because something happened. As fast as you have earned it, and as far as the blockchain has already authenticated it, it's yours. So those are the things that excite me about blockchain gaming. The fact that I can actually play these games, own assets within these games, and enjoy playing it. You know, I think the one part of blockchain gaming that I don't find exciting right now as a gamer is the old conversations of playing to earn. Yeah, I know this is controversial. Immediately immediately I say it sometimes, a lot of people are like, "What do you mean?" I don't like the perspective of saying or the perception of saying play to earn. I
mm,
would rather play and earn. You know, don't tell me to play to earn, because playing to earn is giving me this vibe of I'm working.
mm.
I
Yeah.
would only be playing the game just so I can be earning. So that's work. Games are entertainment. They are supposed to entertain you. So if you're doing it for work, at some point it becomes boring.
Mm,
Even though it's an immersive and entertaining product, at some point it becomes boring. You lose perspective of if you approach it that way. So in my company, we tell you play and earn. Come play the game and earn while playing it. Enjoy the game. That is why good gameplay is major for us. We don't joke about it. Good gameplay is very, very serious for us because we want we are gamers and we understand what a gamer wants, and we know that just playing to earn is not it. I mean, we spend money on games. We don't play games so we can make money. We spend money
yeah.
we spend to play games.
Yeah.
So, but now we see now there's an opportunity for us to spend money in the game, get assets, and later, if we get bored with it or we don't need it anymore, we can sell it to someone else and get the money back.
Mm,
Or If we're so good at it, if I'm so good at the game, I can get rewarded for being really good. It's it's a good reward system, other than the whole play to earn like it's a job. I know this is going to be controversial. Trust me, after this episode gets out, you're going to have people asking you, what does it mean? But it's really what I like to preach every time I get a chance to talk about gaming in Web3. So yeah, that is me. That is the major use case that I have for Web3 in gaming. And if you talk about DeFi and NFTs,
So yeah, so maybe before we go to DeFi, maybe we will break down NFTs, right? Because you mentioned that most decentralized games or Web3 games integrate NFTs, right? So let us know what NFTs are.
okay, yeah. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. What that means is it has no replica. It's just that one. So even if the NFT has multiples, the fact is, even though it's a multiple, it's the number one thing, something of that multiple. So it's still in itself unique. So all NFTs are unique. They have their own value attached in that uniqueness. And the reason it's important for NFTs is because it's like a certification of ownership. It means you own this thing on the blockchain. And as far as it's on the blockchain, and we all know the blockchain is immutable, that means it cannot be changed. That means it's definitely this person's property. So that is the importance of NFTs. In like when you buy your artwork, when you buy artworks, they give you certificate of authenticity. Yeah, but with NFTs, NFTs are now the new certificate of authenticity.
Mm,
People buy artworks right now as NFTs, and they get the physical copies. But it's also indicated on the blockchain that they own that particular painting. And recently we've seen situations where artworks have been sold as NFTs, digital arts have been sold as NFTs, and also there's this new trend for NFTs to have utilities. I think not all NFTs need to have utilities. Um, a cool painting shouldn't have utility. It should just be a painting,
yeah.
you know? And if I bought it as an NFT, I have it as an NFT. I can use it to decorate my virtual space. Soon we're going to be having virtual homes in the metaverse. So as far as I have the NFT, I can put it on my wall on that my virtual home. There is that value attached to it. So it doesn't necessarily have to have utility in the sense of, oh, you hold it, you can get rewarded for this. I think a lot of people that come into the NFT space looking at it from that direction are missing the point. They are missing the point. Is not all of them are supposed to have utilities, but there are those that without utility it doesn't make sense, which is the game kind of NFTs.
Okay.
NFTs that involve games or NFTs that involve metaverses. Because yeah, um, it's how you can be able to use it within the space. It's an asset. So say my game now, and we have a car racing game called Nightlife Drifting. We are still building it. It's not done yet, and it has an open world feature like a metaverse. So the cars are NFTs. The parts of those cars are NFTs. So my car, once I get it, I can drive around the place with my car. But I want to change it. I don't necessarily have to just keep it like I would do in normal games. I can sell it as the NFT to someone else, and someone else owns it. Then I can use the proceeds from what I sold it for to buy another car. The same way I would do in real life, you know? So now those kind of NFTs are um, uh, need utility. They have utilities in this specific space that they are built for. So in the space that I just talked about, our car racing game, there's a car which is serving as an NFT. We have even land as NFT, which has its own purpose. We have billboards as NFTs which have their own purpose. So NFTs are basically the next frontier in ownership. As we move ahead, soon enough, everybody is going to at some point have an NFT. Even identities will soon become NFTs soon enough.
Hmm, cool. So essentially, they're like digital assets, right? And you talked about artworks, images, right? Can you also have NFTs? Can you also have songs and NFTs, videos as NFTs?
Of course, of course, every kind of creative content can become an NFT. I mean, the first tweet done by Jack Dorsey sold as an NFT and sold for millions. So yeah, any creative content can become an NFT.
So this podcast episode right now, we can turn it to an NFT, right?
Exactly. Exactly, my man. You can make it an NFT, and somebody may just be interested enough to just buy it off your hands.
Cool, cool. I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, it's amazing about, I mean, the opportunities in this space, and I mean, what we can also build, as innovators and as content creators, across the globe, especially for African entrepreneurs. All right, yeah. So do you want to talk? Do you want to touch on DeFi as well?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I have little knowledge concerning DeFi. Um, I just know that it's the next thing that is going to change things. Now, when you want to take a loan from the bank, it's crazy procedure, right?
Yeah.
Is a lot of trouble. But there is a DeFi platform that someone has already staked some tokens there so that you can come take a loan.
So can you
So that
break down stake? So once you say stake, what does that mean?
okay, staking is a way for hedging. Like, say you have some funds and you just don't want to buy the token. You want to provide some liquidity for that token or for that platform. So you stake, meaning you provide your liquidity and you get there's a special token associated with staking for any protocol, and you get that, and in the future you get remunerations, some APY interest from the activities on that platform or from that project. And in the future, you can decide to pull out your funds anytime you want. Although sometimes some of them use contracts that they are locked for a certain period of time. Some for 6 months, some for a year, it depends on the contract you're going into. So it's basically providing funds for the system to be able to operate.
All right, cool. So thank you for sharing that, Raphael. So let's talk
Yeah.
about nightlife labs. All right.
Hmm.
I mean, this has been coming up since the beginning of this podcast, right? So tell us about, I mean, nightlife labs and what has been the experience building it.
Yeah, building nightlife has been it has been exciting and it has been difficult, so to say. Uh, I remember when the conversation started in my head, like when I started thinking about it, it seemed really, really weird. But it's something, gaming is something I always had a passion for. So the decision to go into gaming is not so hard, but how to go into it became the issue for me. I got into Web3 by mining. I was
Mm,
mining. I was mining cryptocurrency like by 2016, way
wow,
back, and
that's a long time ago.
yeah, and I was probably the only person doing that in Nigeria. I had the advantage because my great grandfather got lucky. No, he didn't get lucky. He did a deal with this oil company, and I was getting steady power supply for free. So that was my luck. And I decided, oh, let me not waste this. Let me not waste this opportunity. A lot of other people were buying tokens, but I thought, let me mine. And mining will allow me to be able to hold it for a longer period of time, essentially basically because I wasn't spending anything to mine it anyway. So I set up my farm and I started mining, and that was how I got into the space. And lucky for me, that worked out pretty well. It yielded some good rewards in the long run. And then I started asking myself, what do I do next? Do I just want to be the miner? And I said, no, I want to go into gaming. And when I started talking about this with some of my friends, it seemed weird to them because, Raphael, we know what you do. You are more hands on. You're more the electrical, kind like more hardware person. You love your mining thing. I said, yeah, but I love gaming as well. So I started talking to friends, and one person just clicked, which is Matt Drake. We all call him Drake. Drake is the lead at Pirate Chain, which is this cool anonymous token community. It's really really cool, guys. I think that's basically where I found myself within the crypto space. Those guys, like, they were the first family I had. And the first question was, who can build these games? Seems like a funny question, but at the time we're starting, it was a serious question. Who can build these games? Like, who can? We started looking out for people. Eventually, Drake was more hands-on when it came to getting people because is in the US, so he knew some people, and being the lead of his community, he had a lot of people that I could reach out to. And I also tried as well to reach out to people, but I couldn't get Nigerians because there weren't so many Nigerians involved in blockchain development, let alone
Gaming.
that's a whole other level in that regard. So I couldn't get, but I was the only Nigerian that got on board. We managed to build a team and expand. Currently, we have about 20 something persons working at the company, and serious work. When we launched by June, I think we did a token raise. We raised almost $1 million, and that afforded us enough to be able to start working, like do a lot of stuff, even though we had personal funds from previous experiences. But to build out what we're working on, and it's been 20 months now that we've been at it, and we currently have a game available on our site. It's Prop Pirate is a prop hunt kind of game, a hunter and a property kind of game. If you're into gaming, you would know how that is. And our flagship game is Nightlife Drifting. Nightlife Drifting is the, like, it's what I want to see in Web3. We started building it because we got tired of the kind of games we were seeing. They were like, no, let's do this. But it's a huge task. Trust me. It's not because those guys don't see it. They know these kind of games are necessary, but they understand that the work behind building those kind of games is a lot. But being the game file that we have, we just had to jump at it and say no, we need to do it. And we've been building Nightlife Drifting for I think about 10 months now. It's been a while, honestly. Been at it for a while now, and we're almost to doing a pre-seed raise, equity raise. so that we can be able to get more people on board and finish out the product. Another cool thing that we're working on, like this one is really, for me, it's a changer, is a gaming platform. You have Steam on for normal Web2 games, but you don't really have anything like Steam on Web3. So we started working on that a while back, and we said we're going to have this platform. We're going to allow third party game developers to build their games and put it on the platform. And even if you're a Web2 game developer, you can bring your game to us. We'll make it Web3 and put it on the platform. So we can promote Web3 gaming, so we can be able to help with the transition from Web2 to Web3. And that's not been done yet. So it's something that we're very excited about moving forward. There are so many other cool stuff that we've been working at lately, but it's but I think the all I can say is um, gaming is work, and but also it's a really.
All right, yeah. So Raphael, so you mentioned about funding, raising your pre-seed funding right now, so that you can work on building your product. So can you tell us about uh, the state of funding? What is funding like for Web3 startups globally? Maybe you can focus on like the gaming uh, sector, of Web3. And if you can talk about it in Africa, or maybe even drill down to Nigeria, how is the space like in terms of funding generally for Web3 games?
Within the general blockchain space uh, there's been a lot of funding being thrown around. I mean, even though I know usually fintechs, any kind of financial tech gets the bigger share of raise these days, because of the African market. Usually fintech is always exciting. So if you're talking about raise within Africa and Nigeria, I think it's mostly looking at fintech. For when it comes to gaming, not so much within Africa. It's not really a big deal for us just yet. I mean, when I started nightlife, I wasn't really looking at say specific to Africa. It's a global product. Everybody plays video games. Yeah, so it's not something that we're selling to one specific region. So if you were talking about funding in gaming and blockchain gaming, it has to be looking at it globally. And um, in a global perspective, let me throw some figures at you. Right now, um, according to a report from DAP Rafa, DAP Radar, in the month of July, which is a couple of months back, more than 57% of blockchain activities were related to gaming. It means that most people involved in crypto, in blockchain, are looking at gaming. They're interested in gaming. They want to participate in gaming because they see it as a next level. And also, we, according to other reports, you will see that about $2.5 billion was raised in games in just Q1 of 2022. $2.5 billion has
Wow,
been
that's
raised.
amazing.
Yeah, and this is not like last year. For the whole of last year, it was $4 billion, which means
That
just in
that's
Q1
roughly what African startup raised in total.
in total. Yeah, so you see that gaming, blockchain gaming, is gaining a lot of ground. It's a big deal right now, and a lot of companies, a lot of VCs, a lot of funds are looking on how they can be able to get into it. They're looking at getting the pie. I mean, by speculation, it's estimated that the funding within this space could rise up to $10 billion by the end of this year, which is not so far away. But deals are happening. People are making deals. People are closing rounds, and it's exciting. When we we started our own round, but we're doing a pre-seed round of $2.5 million currently, and we've seen a lot of feedbacks. There's so many people that are interested right now to say, okay, let's move forward. So, it's really exciting when you see the amount of people that are interested in getting involved. Although I have to bring this back to Africa, the 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 feedback or the drive is not the same when you look at it from Africa perspective. I keep telling people I'm in a unique position where I built a product or a company that is not local, that is taking content globally. And I'm not basically taking African content. I'm taking normal, like global content and selling it to the global audience, which is quite peculiar given the situation that you would see with the average African founder. The average African founder is building for Africa. His product is targeting Africa, which is quite a good deal because there are so many situations that need solutions in Africa. But for us, it's a global thing. It's entertainment. It's like music. Music is for everybody. As far as you can vibe to it, as far as you can enjoy it, as far as you can get entertained by it. So that's where we found ourselves. That's why I see I look at us like a global brand because we are approaching, we're interacting with the global community, and we are interacting with the global market, and our funding is most likely going to be coming from the global market as well. And it's huge right now. Blockchain gaming is huge. When you talk about blockchain gaming, metaverse come up, and when you mention metaverse, a lot of people get excited, and the money is pumping into that direction, which is really really cool and um, pumps me up for what happens in the future.
Absolutely. That's cool. So as a round up, Raphael, is there any other thing you'd like to share with us?
Right. Okay. I think I really enjoyed the session. I usually tell people just tell me to talk about gaming and anywhere any day just wake me up and say, "Wow, come and talk about gaming," and I'm up for it because I love talking about gaming. It's a passion for me, and I love building the product that we're building. And I'm making an attempt to try and see how I can get more Africans excited about gaming as I am. Which is why I started doing some esports tournaments on a different brand called Esports Tribe, and I'm seeing a lot of interactions from that end. Like people are interested. Also, I also want to see Nigerians, Africans get involved in the game development business as well. Uh, a lot of these companies are not here. They're not founded by Nigerians. They're not located in Nigeria. Well, I'm myself. My company is not founded here in Nigeria for some reasons, and most of my colleagues are not Nigerians. They're foreign, even though they are sourced from different parts of the world. The fact is, they are not Nigerians, and I would want to see a situation where a Nigerian can be able to, play a key role in our company moving forward. So yeah, I want people to get more involved, find out what's happening within the space, and apply yourself, and you'll be surprised what happens. I mean, that works for me.
All right, nice. Thank you, Raphael, for sharing that. It's really been an exciting conversation with you.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's awesome talking to you. Like I
Yeah,
said, fulfilled my wish of being on your podcast.
Thanks, Raphael. It's been a pleasure, having you on the show, and it's really been a very great conversation. And that reminds me of I think one of the episode I did with Michael Oscar, is the founder of Africa Comic Kid, and he's also very passionate about games. All right, I think he recently hosted a conference about games as well. I think maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. So I think there are a lot of young Africans that are really passionate about the space, this creative economy, and I think it's a call, for the government just to listen, to create funding and opportunities, for these great ideas, for these amazing, powerful ideas in the space. And who knows, Nigeria can actually be a powerhouse, for gaming in the world. I can imagine how much that can contribute to our GDP. So yeah. We keep pushing for this, and hopefully we'll build the Africa, the Nigeria of our dreams. Thank you very much, Raphael, and thank you everyone for listening to this amazing episode. If you enjoyed it, feel free to share with your friends, and let us keep the conversation going. See you next time. Bye.